Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and we are going to be absolutely taking a look into mindset. This is something that mindset is a consequence. It's absolutely a consequence. It is not a catalyst. It is not something where you want to hone your mindset. You want to do a catalyst to get the right mindset. Wasting time on your mindset is it's wasting your time on a mindset. It's like trying to literally rebuild a house while it's still on fire. And that's it right there. You do not want to waste time nurturing your mindset if you haven't done the work. Do the work and change your mindset, and the mindset will fall right into place. So this is what we're going to be talking about is I am stepping into the world of billionaire. I'm stepping into the world of poverty, scarcity, and we're going to look at the four quadrants. The four quadrants is a graph, a T graph. And you've got wealthy, poor, and then you've got happy and not happy, or you have ethical. It's broken down in a few different ways. Is basically there's two ethicals. There's the ethical wealthy, the unethical wealthy, and then there's the ethical poor and the unethical poor. And these were two common denominators that I saw across the board. This was a vast project that I did just studying the psychology of happiness. And there was a massive, what I'm seeing a lot of is a lot of billionaire hate, a lot of absolute lashing out at people who have money. And I have been all the way up. I was born a slave, and I've been as bottom, low poverty as you can imagine. And then I have been all the way to the top, all the way. Billionaires Club on the unethical side. And then I climbed down and I realized I was in the unethical side, and I climbed up the ethical side. So now I'm all the way at the top of the ethical side. So I have seen the full gamut. And along the way, I was able to analyze the psychology of everybody and accumulate all this data. And one of the things that I saw a lot of is the money conflict. It's the poor people hating on the rich people. And there's this divide. And I noticed something. Now, I have analyzed people on the entire spectrum, and this is what I've noticed. People who are poor because they have done one of two things. One, they have severe scarcity mindset. They want to be rich and they don't know how. Two, they are segregated themselves due to a severe prejudice. So they believe that money is linked somehow to ethics. So to purify themselves, they have slandered anyone with money and segregated themselves as far away from it as they can get. So now you've got people who want to be wealthy, who are stuck poor because they don't know how, listening to the people hating on the ones who are wealthy. Over on the wealthy side, you have people who have broken the code and figured it out. And there's two levels of those people. There's the people who worked hard, real hard to get there, and they're not satisfied. And then there's people who worked wise. They broke the code, they figured it out, and they're still not happy. So what I noticed was money has nothing to do with ethics. Happiness has everything to do with ethics. In addition to that, ethics has nothing to do with money. Nothing at all to do with money. This is a lie that we were told, and poor people have bought into it. Not the rich people. The rich people have figured it out. It's a lie. And the rich people are like, oh, you can have money and be wealthy, and you can be happy and ethical. That is actually my personal mission is being ethical, being happy, being a billionaire, and being prosperous all at the same time. Well, I'm a good person. That's my agenda. Go, see, you can be ethical and rich. Look. So I've spent a lot of time talking to poor people and analyzing the different mindsets. And here's what it comes down to. You've all heard of self-preservation. Yeah, there's something called resource preservation. This is the very first time I've ever spoken these words. This is the first time anyone has ever spoken these words. Resource preservation. We're going to talk about this. Resource preservation is why rich people are rich. Resource preservation is why poor people are poor. Now, resource preservation actually leads to abundance and eliminates scarcity mindset. A lack of resource preservation causes scarcity mindset. Resource preservation is the ability to identify what your resources are and to cherish them. And this was something where I was definitely, and I do mean within the week, I broke class systems. It was extraordinary, night and day difference. It happened that fast. As soon as I figured this out, I broke class system and I felt the shift. Now, this is my third class stigma break. This is the third time I have gone through a class system. So I know the feeling. I started off a slave and then I went up to equal citizen. That was a feeling. And then there was equal citizen up to middle class, high class. And then there's middle class, high class up to top tier. I have done this so many times. I started off mentally ill, broke out of that stigma. I started off a woman being broken down, beaten because I'm a woman, broke out of that stigma. So I am like a pro at breaking over stigmas. I've done class, I've done everything except race. Literally, that's the only one I haven't handled. And I have a strong hypothesis it's the exact same way because all the other ones are the exact same way. Breaking out of a system, out of a stigma, is their problem, not yours. As soon as you make it your problem, it's going to be your problem. If you're walking around with a stigma in your head, you've taken their stigma and you've put it into your head. As soon as you allow their garbage to come into your head, you're going to have a problem. So the very first thing you need to do is make sure that that stigma does not come into your head because it's not your stigma, it's their garbage. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. So that's a whole nother topic. I don't want to get into it here. I will be covering it later, definitely in my courses, but that is definitely something to sit down and really dissect, is not letting their stigma into your head. So that being said, it was literally like night and day switch. And the difference was resource preservation. It was suddenly a hyper focus on, literally, it was like a gopher. It was the exact same feeling as a gopher. Somebody said, go do this. And I went, I'm on it. And I just, and it was like, what am I looking for? And it was literally an assignment, which really is giving me an idea, a big idea. So somebody gave me an assignment. You know what? I'm looking for X. I'm on it. And I was so focused on the hunt for X that I broke all boundaries. I didn't even faze me. I was suddenly DMing people. I was messaging. I was a scout. I'm looking for something. It was like a massive mission because somebody gave me something to do, which as a philosopher now makes sense why sages and philosophers are like, go on this quest. Because this is what you focus on, is the quest. So it's literally the quest gopher mindset. As soon as this happened, it snapped. And suddenly I was in the middle of it. And I do mean like 2 hours later, I was in the middle of it. The mindset was there. And I've been here before, so I knew it. It was very familiar. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm back. I'm back. How did I get here? And this time I had the formula and I knew how to get here because I was able to like reverse engineer the whole damn thing and I was conscious of it. So I had the whole formula. I figured it out. I'm going, all right, I figured out how to get here. It's the gopher mindset. It's the gopher quest. Go for this. I'm on it. And you're just so energetic and you're so happy to be focused on this particular quest that you're not thinking about anything else. And that's what that is your Raz. That's absolutely your Raz, fueled by love, passion, and your purpose, combined with your dream and helping people, and then boop, it's there. So while I'm running around doing this, I'm also thinking about resource preservation. And then I was able to recognize, hey, this is the mindset. I know where I am. I'm right back to finally where I'm trying to get to. So as soon as that clicked, the consequences rolled in. Suddenly I'm getting paying clients. Suddenly I'm getting DMs. Suddenly all the things that I've been trying to get just fell right into my lap in 24 hours. And I went, oh, the dam just broke. The dam just broke. And I went, whoa, so what's the difference? So now I'm analyzing the math behind what did I change? What I changed was two things. The resource preservation changed and the gopher. That's it. I went gopher and resource preservation. Now the resource preservation is a really big deal. The difference between a billionaire and somebody who's poor is this. There are resources that you have that most people will not consider are resources. There's no value for them. A billionaire knows they have value. And here's what's going on. The biggest resource you have is your time. Your time is cherished, whereas the poor people squander it. They squander their time. A billionaire will never squander their time. There's no way. Oh, no, 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 no. Time is the most valuable thing. Casual conversation does not exist in a billionaire's mindset. We don't have casual conversation. We don't have time for that because That's time. It's time. And when we do put time toward a conversation, it's with purpose. So everything we have is with purpose. If I'm going to sit down and have a conversation with you, it's because it's going to lead to a massive door opening up or an ROI. It's cherry picking precisely where your energy is going to go, which leads me to the next thing is your energy. Your energy is so important. And a billionaire would never squander this. Holy shit, you only have so much energy. So for a billionaire, they go, okay, 24 hours in a day, X amount of energy, and there's only one of me, and I want to get this done. This is going to require priority. This is going to require absolute high impact, low energy, high ROI. And that's the focal point. Suddenly you're very selective about who you talk to. Now you're only looking at top tier because you want to expend your resources as little as possible over as wide of a plank as you possibly can. Whereas somebody who has the resource preservation not turned on, they're not going to value time. They're not going to understand the value of time. We talk about knowing the value of $1. You don't know the value of time. There's also knowing the value of energy. So it's time, energy, and money. These three things, understanding these resources, here's the other one, is your own idea, your own mindset, education. These are things, information. So now it's, are you watching cat videos on YouTube? Or are you watching Warren Buffett sit there and tell you how to invest? Are you scrolling through Facebook? Or are you networking with high impact people? Whatever you put your energy and your resource into is what you're going to get out of it. So if you're investing in low quality, high energy, low ROI, you're going to get high energy spend out with low ROI, with low impact. And this is the difference between billionaire wealth and somebody who's poor and scarce. Now, here's the thing, because you're squandering your resources, your scarcity is going to go through the roof because you've squandered your resources. So you're literally nourishing your own scarcity by squandering your resources. And this is the difference. Suddenly, I'm huge on, I love networking. I am so obsessed with networking, but I don't just do networking, I do power networking. That is, you say you need something and I want to deliver in 24 hours. Not in 2 weeks, I'll get around to sending you that email. What the fuck? Nah, I got a world to change. No. You're going to get an answer within 24 hours. I want to be able to deliver with my people in 24 hours. That's how fast I move. Power economics. I don't have time to talk by emails for 2 weeks. I want change now. I wanted change 2 years ago, but hey, well, I'll settle for now. So power economics is a completely different creature. And because I know math, logic, physics, I know how to fuel that and pour it right into that. So now I'm taking the resources I have and I'm energizing them. I'm energizing them with physics because that's how physics works. So I'm like energizing them with physics. Physics is fun. So I'm pouring all of my physics into my energy to get more amped up wattage. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting amped up wattage. That's what I'm doing. And now I want to make sure that when I interact with somebody, I am plugging them into high impact. So I'm not going to want somebody who I give something to and they just go nowhere. There's one person in my network, brilliant mind. Holy crap, his mind is amazing. He's not mentally healthy. Not mentally healthy, not taking care of himself, and he has no energy. So what I have put into him, it's going nowhere. It's literally like a dead battery. And I'm going, okay, I know how to revive the battery. So now I have to put in a lot of work. Is it worth it? Yeah. With what his mind is, it's worth it. So now I'm going, okay, I really want to prioritize this mind and nourish him because what he's got, what he can do, his potential can help millions of people if we can help him with where he's having this problem. So these are the kind of things now that's on the mind of, if I were to put X into this person, where would that person be able to go with it? Now I'm looking over at these other people. They have no dream, no ambition, no vision, no nothing. They don't even know who they are, which, okay, a lot of people have that problem. So that's not going to be for them yet. So what we do is that's where we have Pando, that's where we have Trident Healing, and it's get into Trident Healing, nourish yourself there. But this is where, and this is really the tough part, this is the very first test of life, is you deciding what you are going to do for you. It's the first test that every one of us has to pass, is that very first, right out of the gate. It's the very first trial. It's the trial that you have to do on your own. And if you don't get through that first trial and you don't go through the first part of it on your own, dead in the water, can't help you. Can't help you. And because there's just, that's one of those things where you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So you can't, we'll lead it to water and then you just got to walk away. Whether or not the horse chooses to drink is going to be up to the horse. And that's going to be their trial that they've got to work out with Mother Nature. So we do that. Now, some people are going to drink and go, oh my God, and they're going to gorge themselves and they're going to nourish themselves. And we got the stepping stones to get them where they need so that they can get to that point, so they can get that nourishing, so they can go, hey, I've got a dream and a vision. Okay, now we can hook you up. Now we can plug you in. And that's literally the entire process that we have. It's literally a people nourishing system. So when it comes to your resource preservation, it is you getting realistic about your time and your energy and what these two things are truly capable of. I'm going to be doing a whole course on this where I just rip these two topics apart, because resource preservation, and this is where it gets interesting, because I've heard all of the comments made by people. I've heard what people say about billionaires, and what I've realized, and it took me a lot. There were three things that really hit home with me when I started to do the research on it, and I went, oh, the big picture and the truth is starting to come out. So the first one that was a real slap in my face was the billionaire hate game. And the billionaire hate game is done by people who love to complain. They are people who love to blame and complain. And that's just it. It's blame and complain. They do not want to change. They do not want to help themselves. They are caught in the blame complain. And it's once I realized that, I went, oh, I understand. Okay, so their problem is not billionaire hate. Their problem is they want blame and complain, and they've just chosen billionaires. And that's for them to work out. They really just need to do their own work. They've got some serious problems with their own resource issues that they're not dealing with. The next is the homeless problem. It was a real perspective shift when I did research on homelessness. And I thought, wow, they're begging because they're homeless. No, backwards. They are homeless because they beg. They begged themselves right into being homeless. These were people who never learned the problem-solving skill. These were and I'm talking the majority, not all, the majority. These are people who never learned how to help themselves. And I had this hypothesis about 3 months ago. And then I live in New York City. So homelessness is all over the fuck place. Like, it's what we do here. And I've eaten with the homeless. I have done so much research on the homeless. Some of my friends are former homeless people. Like, this is such a thing here in New York. So I woke up at 3 a.m. about 2 weeks ago. And this guy was on the cell phone talking very loudly at 2 a.m. It's normal here. And I'm listening to his phone conversation, and he's talking to somebody about his mother and his brother. And he was explaining everything that my theories and my hypothesis had concluded. It was extraordinary to hear it. I'm like, wow, he's literally, I got right up and I just sat there, listened to him like, It's a thing in New York. It's called people watching. We do it here. And I'm listening to his story, and he's explaining how she wouldn't let me, she is his mother. She wouldn't let me do anything. She absolutely would not allow me to do anything. Every decision she had to make, she micromanaged me into homelessness. She micromanaged me. I never had to ask for anything. I had no idea how to help myself. She wouldn't let me. She was always there to micromanage every single choice for me. And it wasn't until I got homeless that I had to figure it out for myself. And it took me a long time to figure out how to help myself, because until then, I was never allowed to help myself. I was begging everybody my whole life until I was homeless. And I was still begging people because I didn't know how to help myself, because she micromanaged me. And when I got there, I hit rock bottom, and I realized, oh, I've got to help myself now. I've got to dig me out because I have exhausted all of my resources. And then he said, I finally got myself out. I turned my life around. And now my brother's right there. My brother's right back. And he's like, you want me to go in there and save my brother? He's got to learn the same thing that I had to learn, that you've got to help yourself. People who are homeless because they beg. They're not begging because they're homeless. It's the begging that put them there. Stop helping people. That's what it does. That was the wake-up call I had is, oh my God, helping people. When you help someone, you are taking away their ability to problem solve. That's why there's a homeless problem. Don't help people, because every time you help somebody, they end up one step closer to that place. What you are supposed to do is empower, encourage, open doors, but you do not feed them. Big difference. You give them the fishing rod. You teach them how to fish, but don't you dare give them a fish. You give them a fish and they'll never learn how to pick up the rod. I'm going to say that again, because that's really it right there. You give them the fishing rod, you give them the bait, and you teach them, but don't you dare do it for them. Big difference. The word help is the most toxic thing there is. And it was mind-blowing. It was absolutely mind-blowing. It was just an eye-opener. So between the billionaire blame game, that billionaire blame complain, and then there's that homelessness, turning that around, it was a massive step back to understand exactly where in society our mindset has got to change. And it's this concept of what is love, what is nice, what is good, what is ethical. These things have been fucked up so much that we don't know what they are anymore. We really don't. And a lot of people are going, okay, so what's love? And now there's split going, okay, we're all arguing. Okay, no, this isn't love. This is love. No, that's not love. This is love. And same thing with ethics. Same thing with what's good. And it's extraordinary to watch the internet. The internet, this is all we're doing, is we're arguing over trying to figure out who's got the right logic. Does anyone out there have the right logic? And everyone's arguing, but no one has studied logic to decide, okay, this is the right way. It's a mess. It's a mess. So when it comes time, when you are at that point where you're ready to climb out of your situation and you want to pursue that wealth and you want to change your life around, you are looking at changing your attitude, changing your mind on resource preservation. Absolutely. It was extraordinary. Gossip is like, and this is really poverty mindset, scarcity mindset is that's energy, that's time that you are consuming, just throwing it away. And one of the things I was warned about this, when you do shift classes, oh wow, this hit me hard this week, is you're going to have people who break off. Suddenly you're on the other side and you're the enemy now, and they'll lash out at you. And I'm like, oh, this is what I was warned about, was when you break over into the millionaire, billionaire wealth mindset, suddenly they're lashing out and attacking you. And you're going, oh. And the mindset hits before the money does. You change mindset before the money comes rolling in. It's extraordinary. So you're going to be a poor millionaire. You're going to be a poor billionaire before you have the money, and they're going to hate you because you're already thinking like them. And it's when you switch over that you're suddenly understanding their mindset. Oh, the difference is they're not squandering their resources. They're valuing their time. They don't have time to sit on the phone and talk for 2 hours about who did what back when. Does not happen. We don't have that time. Suddenly it's every single moment, every single time slot is absolutely valuable. As I'm building my schedule, this is a really, really interesting problem that I've got. I hate the word problem. It's learning. It's not problems. It's learning. That's another mindset thing, by the way. That's another billionaire mindset. We don't have problems. What we have is lessons. We don't have problems over here. We have lessons. Change your mind. It's not a problem. It's a lesson to be learned. So whenever we hit a problem, we're going, oh, what's the lesson? All right, I'm in school again. All right. So it's lesson mindset. It's absolutely about what lessons you have to learn. And I have this one lesson, and it's about my schedule. And I cannot fill my schedule. I cannot. Like, there's something in my brain going, nope, your schedule has to stay open. I have tried to put up a schedule, and it's just not working. And I'm realizing that the moment I start filling up my schedule, the less time I'm going to have to put at a higher impact, high energy. So now I'm going, all right, I got to make sure that my schedule is absolutely clear. And I started chiseling down my schedule. So I would do, all I do every day, this is really my day. is I do 3 newsletters, which I'm writing anyway, because it's just article writing for me and I'm a writer. So I do 3 newsletters, 3 articles. That's it. That's my day. That's my day. The rest of it is strategically talking to the right people and making sure that they get connected with other people. That's it. But if I'm not focused, if I'm spread too thin, if I'm teaching classes, if I'm doing these master classes, this is why I'm pre-recording everything. Is because the more time I give one person, the less time I'm giving everybody, which is why I'm recording a video so I can post it on my my courses. So now everybody unlimited can see my video. So now it's what, 30 minutes to an hour? I give you all of this time, but I can reach the entire world with 1 hour. So that's what I call high impact, low energy. And this is why I'm going, yeah, I really don't want to take that time. And here's the best thing is once I have this out, it's done. I don't have to go back and revisit it. Whereas you see people, this is the dumbest thing in the world, is one person standing in a classroom talking, rinse and repeat the same day for 40 years. I'm going, what the fuck are you? Now I get that we didn't have cameras, but the world's changed. And now I'm going, why would you ever, like literally the days of teachers are numbered. Because eventually we're going to have all the knowledge. Just Khan Academy's got this covered. Just Sal Khan's got it all covered. We don't need teachers. We've all got Sal Khan, people. Sal Khan's got it covered. There you go. Sal Khan. I love Sal Khan. I love Sal so much. Thank you, Sal. Your work is amazing. My daughter's doing biology, and I'm over here doing physics and more physics and physics. Oh my God, I love it. I love Sal Khan. I love his stuff. It's amazing. But yeah, now that Sal Khan's on the internet, we don't need teachers. Like, what are you doing? You got Sal Khan. Oh, why? So once it's uploaded, it's kind of like a well done set. Well, there you go. Now what do we do? Whatever you want. And this is the beautiful thing. This is really it's a completely different world we're walking into. And dudes, we got to change because the world's already here and we're all like, it's 1920. Dudes, stop acting like it's 1920. What are you doing? And this is extraordinary. This is one of the most, this is like between sociology, studying how society evolves, studying politics, and then studying teaching and education, and then studying the new age technology. I'm going, okay, the technology is way over here. It's like 363 CE. But we're doing 1923 practices, and I'm going, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what are we doing? The concept of a live classroom makes no sense. Like, it is the most illogical thing. And that's just habitual. That's just practiced habitual. That's just, like I said, Sal Khan put himself on the internet and boom, there's one dude. He is the teacher at MIT for mathematics and calculus. Where else do you have to go? You go on the internet and there is MIT right there for free. Why are you doing anything else when you've got MIT? Like, so there's a lot of things like that in the world where I'm going, is that Wonderland logic? That's Wonderland logic, isn't it? Yeah, that's Wonderland logic. So if you're not saying anything new, then what are you doing? And guess what? Mathematics is not new. So I don't know. That being said, when it comes to this mindset of your resource preservation, it's suddenly really sitting back saying, do I really want to take my time doing X? If you are repeating behavior, we all know what Einstein says about insanity. Do I really have to repeat what he said about insanity? Google it. It's all over the internet. So time, energy, and absolutely Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He breaks down quality education and the importance of what you put in your mind is going to equal what you put in your mind. Make sure it's nutritional knowledge. So thank you so much. May the kindest of words always find you.